Like Bria Hartley just got instant karma, bro. She out for the season. I'm here to tell you the most dirtiest player in the WNBA contract has been written, bro. And I'm here to tell you she's out for the season. Yes, you heard me correctly. Yeah, man, Bria Hartley. So Connecticut PR has released a statement. Bria Hartley is to miss the remainder of the season.
Was that collision between these two players the most controversial moment we've witnessed this season? What happened next will absolutely shock you. Supporters are furious after Sophie Cunningham suffered a devastating MCL tear in what many are calling a questionable contact. The situation gets even more intense when recent video evidence reveals something that has everyone talking. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. The very same athlete now finds herself sidelined for the remainder of the campaign. The irony is undeniable. Could this be mere coincidence, or did the universe deliver its own form of justice? Show Sophie some love and drop your best wishes for her recovery in the comment section. And please consider subscribing this channel. Let's dive in!
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Timeout.
Should be. You know, scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
From the opening moments, something felt off about this particular sequence. Sophie absorbed the full impact, crashed hard onto the court surface, and immediately grabbed her knee area. There was no attempt to stand. That's when you knew it was serious. Medical staff sprinted onto the floor, her squad gathered close, and you could feel the tension throughout the entire venue. Rather than the typical bounce back we're used to seeing after intense contact, Sophie had zero choice but to exit straight to the training facility.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now, clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
Her body language communicated everything you needed to understand. This wasn't ordinary discomfort. Everyone in attendance recognized the severity instantly. What really got people heated wasn't solely the injury itself. The controversy erupted from what cameras captured immediately afterward.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty player.
While Sophie remained on the hardwood in obvious pain, footage showed Bria Hartley displaying what appeared to be satisfaction. Whether you label it a smile, chuckle, or any gentler description, fans witnessed one clear message. Here was an athlete seemingly enjoying herself right after a competitor hit the ground gripping her knee. That single frame exploded across every social platform within moments. Suddenly, the discussion expanded beyond just Sophie's injury. It became about deliberate intent. The allegation was straightforward. Genuine accidents don't produce those kinds of reactions. Supporters argued that facial expression revealed more than any official statement possibly could. Once that image circulated widely, Hartley's actual intentions became irrelevant. The damage was done. Even when Sophie attempted to diffuse tensions by claiming she was simply in the wrong position, it barely reduced the backlash. People understood basketball's physical nature. What they couldn't stomach was someone appearing delighted by another competitor's pain.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
This incident wasn't Hartley's inaugural brush with such criticism, which intensified the response significantly. The smirk carried extra weight because the league and its fan base had previously observed Hartley's confrontational tendencies and aggressive encounters.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see some ringside fights.
Instead of dismissing this as an isolated misstep, That photograph became crucial evidence in an expanding argument against her character. Media personalities and journalists quickly began labeling it the season's most unsportsmanlike moment. Headlines screamed with indignation, comment sections flooded with demands for consequences, and officials faced severe backlash for their passive response. Rather than safeguarding Sophie, referees appeared lenient on enforcing player protection once again. The rage wasn't exclusively directed at Hartley. It targeted a league that disciplines athletes for criticizing officials faster than punishing dangerous contact. Within days, conversations shifted from discussing a single game to questioning the organization's credibility. Would the WNBA intervene with meaningful action or remain passive as usual? Regardless, Hartley's expression had cemented her reputation among supporters because that snapshot reinforced a narrative they already accepted.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said, to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1414, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
The disturbing reality? This territory wasn't unfamiliar for her. Had Sophie Cunningham simply become another victim in Bria Hartley's controversial playbook? That question dominated discussions the moment their collision went viral. While some might dismiss this as one unfortunate play, Hartley's track record this campaign tells a different story, painting her not as an unlucky circumstance victim, but as someone consistently finding herself in these negative spotlight moments. Consider the earlier confrontation with Angel Reese. This wasn't typical post-play intensity. Supporters called out Hartley for grabbing Reese's hair during a rebounding battle. You don't accidentally mistake a swipe for a handful of braids, and Reese's immediate reaction demonstrated how obvious it appeared. That clip spread rapidly, and by the time everyone added it to Hartley's growing file, another incident was already waiting. Rebecca Allen became the next name linked to her after receiving a shove that again had people pointing accusatory fingers.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
These moments didn't receive major penalties individually, but collectively they painted a troubling picture. Supporters stopped viewing isolated accidents. They recognized a disturbing pattern. Patterns transform narratives completely. When Sophie went down clutching her knee, Hartley's previous incidents were already scattered throughout the season. This made it virtually impossible for anyone to believe the smirk was merely poor timing caught on camera. The fury intensified because referees seemed oblivious to everything. Fans criticized officials for ignoring hard contact one game, then calling minor infractions the next. There was zero consistency. This unpredictability fueled narratives that referees were enabling Connecticut's physical style while players like Sophie absorbed the punishment. Adding insult to injury, Sophie herself had been fined earlier for criticizing these same officials, while Hartley faced no repercussions despite repeatedly targeting opponents. For countless supporters, this double standard was impossible to overlook. Sophie's family had witnessed enough. Her sister Lindsay and mother Paula voiced concerns about why the league wasn't intervening to protect players from these situations. It wasn't just upset fans anymore. Her family was publicly challenging the WNBA, and their frustration echoed what many Fever supporters already felt.
Maybe you should focus her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
Suspension discussions began immediately online, fans referenced other cases where reckless plays drew punishment, demanding Hartley receive identical treatment. They had already categorized Hartley as a dirty player, portrayed the league as corrupt, and viewed Sophie as the sacrificial victim. However, before the WNBA could make any ruling, events took an unexpected direction. Supporters anticipated league intervention with some form of punishment. Suspension chatter was everywhere, and the outcry was loud enough that most assumed the WNBA would be compelled to respond.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
Then suddenly, an announcement completely altered the storyline. The Connecticut Sun confirmed that Bria Hartley wouldn't compete in another game this season. Not due to disciplinary measures, but because of a right knee meniscus tear that immediately terminated her campaign. The timing couldn't have been more ironic. The parallels were unmistakable, and fans wasted no time making connections. Sophie Cunningham had just been ruled out with a torn MCL, devastating news for a Fever squad that felt they'd endured too many setbacks this season.
It stated Connecticut Sun guard Bria Hartley will miss the remainder of the season due to a meniscus tear in her right knee. Injury sustained during team practice. You got hurt at practice? Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. So you mean to tell me her own team hurt her? Oh my God. Her own team hurt her? Oh man. Oh dog, this is funny as hell. I should laugh, but damn, dog. How your own team hurt you, bro? Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. Additional updates will be provided.
Now Hartley, the same player central to Sophie's injury controversy, suffered her own career-threatening knee injury. Both sidelined, both facing lengthy recoveries. Except Sophie's came from being on the receiving end, while fans viewed Hartley's as retributio delivered faster than anyone anticipated. The instant karma narrative quickly dominated social platforms. Fever supporters who'd been furious days earlier suddenly shifted from outrage to vindication.
That I was like, Bria and I are super cool, and she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but.
Well, Sophie, I got news for you. The universe thought otherwise. They got her ass up out of here, bro. Damn. Which they weren't going to the playoffs anyways, but man, karma's a ish. I just gotta keep it real, bro. I mean, this is everywhere.
Posts celebrating the symmetry appeared everywhere, with people calling Hartley's season-ending injury the justice the league refused to deliver. Whatever terminology people used, payback, irony, or poetic justice, the message remained consistent. Fans saw it as basketball's higher powers intervening. That irony stung Connecticut even more. Losing Hartley stripped them of a crucial rotation player precisely when intensity peaks.
Ow, instant karma on their ass. Prayers do come true. Some of the same people complaining about injury. Somebody said, man, the storyline of this league is incredible. Man, I did an incredible video talking about the injuries, dog. Somebody said, oh, that's terrible news. That's a voodoo doll. No more head hunting for her.
For a team built on physical play and toughness, this loss wasn't just headlines. It was a significant blow to their championship aspirations.
Somebody said this was her karma. She went into every game this year and either tried to bully someone because she knew her team had her back, or she did a dirty play on someone she knew her team had her back. She never stood up for herself and then injured someone for the whole season. And guess what? Her team ended up injuring her. Bro.
Meanwhile, Sophie continued displaying the class that made her easy to support. Even after her injury, she refused to disparage Hartley, telling fans she harbored no resentment and still considered Hartley a friend.
I know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I had been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this, because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. There's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I had nothing but love for Bria. And I even like told my mom, because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, like I get it, but like I promise you that like I was like, Bria and I are super cool, and like she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat, because I don't think she meant to do that at all.
This contrast only elevated Sophie's image. While supporters unleashed anger online, she maintained calm dignity, creating an even clearer distinction between the supposed villain and the player who preserved her integrity throughout everything. Sophie Cunningham didn't remain silent long. Within days of her injury, she made it clear she wasn't fading into the background.
I'm officially 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA.
Holy shit. For this? For the pod? Again?
They didn't like my comments on Paige Becker's.
No way.
I didn't even say anything bad.
On the whistle? On the quick whistle?
Yeah. But like,
Her first signal came via Twitter with a sharp response. Mess around and find out. Those 4 words communicated everything necessary. Even sidelined and facing surgery plans, Sophie was prepared to fight. Not just for herself, but against anyone attacking her or her family. It was brief, direct, and left zero room for misunderstanding. What made that tweet remarkable was how differently it felt from her podcast approach. There, she showed restraint, even calling Hartley's contact a basketball play while emphasizing she didn't believe it carried malicious intent.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
One message was about grace and perspective. The other was about fire and defiance. Together, they revealed Sophie's complete character, a competitor who doesn't hold grudges but also refuses to be victimized. On her podcast, she was honest about the rehabilitation process, acknowledging she would undergo surgery and officially miss the remainder of the season. She didn't sugarcoat how challenging the journey ahead would be, but also sounded confident about what follows. Gratitude was a recurring theme, thanking the Fever organization and teammates for their support. It provided insight into her mindset, frustrated by the injury, but choosing to frame it with positivity and determination. Her family didn't maintain such measured responses. The Cunningham fighting spirit really emerged here. Sister Lindsay openly criticized the WNBA for fining Sophie for criticizing officiating while ignoring dangerous plays that actually injure players. Mother Paula went harder, calling Hartley a troubled player causing problems everywhere she goes and labeling her simply mean and uncontrolled. For fans already angry at referees and the Sun, those words added more fuel. Throughout everything, the Fever were forced to keep climbing uphill. Injuries accumulated, hardship contracts were signed, and the roster appeared thin, but this squad refused to surrender. That resilience showed up in Kelsey Mitchell's 38-point explosion against the Sun, a performance earning her Eastern Conference Player of the Week honors. Lexi Hull stepped into leadership, proving she could unite a team through adversity. Even without Sophie, the toughness she embodied spread across the entire roster. And there's Caitlin Clark. The team continues being cautious with her return, providing only daily updates, but everyone understands what her comeback could represent. Bria Hartley's season-ending injury grabbed headlines, but that isn't the lasting narrative. The real focus is Sophie Cunningham, her toughness, her honesty, and her refusal to let critics define her. Even sidelined, she transformed an ugly situation into motivation. Look at the Fever now. Kelsey Mitchell continues delivering massive scoring performances. Lexi Hull is demonstrating steady leadership and Aaliyah Boston keeps battling inside. Add Caitlin Clark back into this lineup and suddenly the playoffs feel completely open. The league failed to protect Sophie, but Indiana doesn't need saving. They're already crafting their comeback story independently. Show Sophie some support and drop your recovery wishes in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and activate all notifications so you never miss our content.